Hi and welcome to our heart-centered Selling with Soul and Success Masterclass. I'm Sarupa Shah, also known as a soul agent, and some of you have probably seen some of my masterclasses before, but I'm really excited because today I've got Michael Robinson, my partner in life and in this particular project with me.
And it's great to be here.
Yeah, really exciting. So we're doing this masterclass together, which is focusing on selling with heart and soul. And we're going to be talking about the 5 heart-centered secrets to selling. But before we get into those, and I'm sure you can see them on this whiteboard, we just wanted to talk a little bit about why we got together. Because I've been doing business coaching now for a number of years, working with people who have a spiritual leaning, not necessarily a spiritual business. They're, heart-centered and conscious. And they want to have a business where they don't have to sacrifice who they are. That's how I felt. I didn't want to have just a job where I felt like I was selling my soul. I set myself up in business. And something really interesting happened when I set myself up in business. I kind of forgot about being in business. I felt that just having all this spiritual knowledge or understanding the law of attraction and all those sort of things would see me through. And when things weren't working, I kind of felt like it was me, But I was being told to ignore business. I was being told that business didn't matter. It was old paradigm. It was masculine. We're going to cover some of this, but it was it September last year? We were in Lanzarote.
Yeah, we were both sitting there, and I've worked in corporate sales for many years, and with what Sarupa does so well with the spiritual side of business and my knowledge of the corporate side and the kind of nitty gritty of the sales world. We thought it was perfect to bring these together and the perfect time.
Absolutely, and our kind of greatest passion is, and you're going to have a little taster of it today, is to really show those of you that are heart-centered and conscious actually how to build a business foundation that's so authentic and that resonates to your vibration, to your frequency. It's not about becoming a corporate business person or a salesperson, like the salesperson that you don't like or anything like that. It really is about kind of tapping into that inner powerful you, and we're going to be talking about that today. We're also going to be sharing about a really exciting program that we're launching in a couple of weeks. So listen on in because you're going to hear more about that a little bit later. But first, let's start with these 5 heart-centered secrets to selling. So we've got secret 1, own who you are and what you do. Now this sounds really obvious.
It does. If you ask people, who are you, what do you do, they can pretty much answer it straight away. But it's a real understanding, it's a core understanding, it's a truth within you, really.
And I think, in my experience, people can answer this, but often, I was asking somebody not last week on a Facebook group about this, and I kind of got the essay long version, so much so that I actually didn't want to keep reading anymore, because it was almost like, well, you're trying to justify it, you're trying to get validation, it's almost like who I am becomes a question, because you're trying to bounce off what other people are saying. So this is a really important part of knowing who you are and what you do. And being heart-centered is one thing, and being creative is another, but really, what is it that you do in your business? And actually, it was in Lanzarote. Sorry, we keep name dropping Lanzarote here. But we're talking about USPs. I thought I was talking about unique soul purpose.
And I thought I was talking about unique selling point.
But we realised it was actually different words, but the same outcome. And this is what this is really about. In fact, I'm going to write that there. This is about your USP. And the thing that worries heart-centered and conscious entrepreneurs is if you define it, then you're going to narrow it, and that means I can't be all the other things I want to be. But actually, this is your point and platform for expansion. It's like putting a nail in the ground or drawing a line in the sand. When you say, this is who I am and this is what I do, from there you expand. But if at every moment you're trying to be maybe a bit of this and maybe a bit of that, that energy just confuses your market. So one of the things that we were talking about that we'd really like to kind of, in this masterclass, give you a couple of things to take away is to really look at what your gifts are. Really start to focus on what your gifts are. So maybe after watching this video, write down 10 gifts. They don't have to be around business, just 10 things that are your gifts. So for me, it would be things like I love organising parties, which I don't actually do my business, but it is part of the energy that I bring certainly into business, about getting people together. So it's just writing down what your gifts are, what your uniqueness is, because when you start to name it and claim it, you really start to get into this energy of the USP, and it's something that we focus on in this program that we're going to be telling you about.
And when we focus on it, it becomes a real point of clarity in your business, and it kind of, things sprout from that. So next, following on from understanding who you are and what you do, is own and know your own value. And what we're talking here is about the benefits that you offer.
Once you know who you are and what you do, then it's a kind of natural progression that you start to understand the benefits of your service or your product. But a lot of the time people don't understand that because they're not clear on what they're doing. And I know for years marketing, coaches, business coaches said to me, focus on benefits, Rupa, not features. I didn't know what they meant because I didn't understand what I was doing and who I was, and it was all so confusing. I kept talking about how many hours coaching they'd get, or how many workbooks people were going to get, or how many meditations they'd get, but it wasn't talking about the transformation that I was bringing, which is what benefits is about. So that's part of value, but the other key part of value is actually about money. If you don't know the benefits that you're bringing and you don't own your value, then pricing or talking about money is going to be pretty tough.
Exactly. How can you price something you can't really define? So it's all about creating a definition within your business.
And one of the things in our program that we're going to be talking about that starts in a few weeks at the end of July, on the 23rd of July, where we're going to be talking and sharing about how you can create who you are, create your USP, really own it and claim it. We're going to be talking about pricing, but one of the kind of bonus modules in that is where we're going to be talking about how you create your high-end packages, and ones where people love those VIP days, or creating a coaching or mastermind package that is at the kind of top end of your product pyramid, where you're attracting your most ideal clients, and how you can have that money conversation because you'll know what your benefit is, how you can know how to price something, because often people will say to us, how do I price that? And there is a process, and I've talked about this before in other videos and other masterclasses I've done. There is an energy to all of this. So when we start working on the inside, that energy starts to get really clear. And then it brings us on to the third secret, which is the heart and light of selling, spiritual truth. Now, we were going to call this a shadow of, to move away from the shadow of selling, but actually I didn't even want to call it that, because it's about understanding that selling is a form of spiritual truth. It's a spiritual art. For too long, you as a corporate person probably got labelled as the shady salesperson. Selling's bad, selling's masculine, business is masculine. It's been so confusing out there.
Well, we were actually, as Sarupa mentioned, going to call this the shadow of the sleazy salesman, really. And it is something that people get tar salespeople with that brush. But if someone isn't selling something that they really believe in, that they're really passionate about, that comes through when they have a conversation. That comes through when they're trying to sell, and potential clients don't buy that. So it's really important to understand that sales is a spiritual truth, and it's once you get that, once you believe it, it becomes a lot easier.
And the thing with light, the little bit of a mini spiritual masterclass here, where there's light, there's always a shadow. But what we've got to learn in order to birth the new era in our own lives, in order to live our potential that we can feel and yearn for and feel in our heart and emotionally are connected to, is to stop fearing the shadow, stop thinking that if I do start getting into selling, if I learn how to sell, I'm going to become somebody that I don't want to be, because actually inevitably that fear becomes the reality. So when I was fearing sales and thinking it was masculine because I was being taught all of that, I probably actually at some points, looking back, and I share very honestly in this program as well, probably was a little bit of a stalker, a little bit of that person that cornered people and was thinking, you've got to buy off me, you've got to buy off me. So we become what we fear. until we start getting into the light of it. And something that you'll have heard me saying, and I've been writing about quite a lot, and it's a really important part of this, is if you have business as part of your soul purpose, then selling is part of your gift. It's part of your service, which actually brings us on to
very nicely to point 4, which is really important in our Summer School 2014. Selling is a service. It's a service to you and it's a service to your clients. It's a mutually beneficial decision, basically.
Win-win.
It's a total win-win. You're selling something that gives people a better world, a better life. Them buying it gives you a better world, a better life. So everyone is happy and you're delivering what you love.
Absolutely. And this is where you see, this is like actually our masculine and feminine part here, because when Michael's talking from that business perspective, me coming in from the spiritual perspective. Now, I haven't memorised the Marianne Williamson quote about shining your light and who are you not to, but when you're selling your gifts, which may be products, maybe services, maybe events, retreats, maybe, healing sessions, hypnotherapy sessions, whatever it is that you're sharing with the world as your gift that somebody is going to be purchasing from you, it's a service because you were contracted somewhere, you agreed to transform that person, to offer something to that person, and in not doing it, in hiding or in being unclear about who you are, what you do in your value, it's repelling these people that were kind of destined to work with you, so they're not getting to work with you. And this might sound like tough love, and it is. It's creating karma for you because you're not stepping into the energy of service. So when you learn how to sell, when I learned how to sell in my business, it became my greatest joy. And the joy, and it kind of links us to point 5, the joy is, of course, when people say yes, but equally when people say no. Equally when somebody gives me feedback on why this particular thing that I'm doing isn't right for them. It's just, it all becomes part of my joyous service and joyous growth. So this is all ultimately about having fun.
And you've got to have fun. I mean, I always kind of match this with when I'm playing sports. Okay, if I'm playing sports and I'm disappointed with my game, I get frustrated with my game, I get worse at playing that game. The minute I'm having fun, I simply get better and better and better.
I mean, it's a great analogy, and we can probably have, it's even cooking. If I'm cooking something and it's a little bit tricky, if I think I'm not doing well, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's a law of attraction at work, because we're telling ourselves we can't do this, it's not fun, I'm panicking, when's my next client going to come? If I don't get one, it's going to be awful and my bill's going to be paid. And I know these fears are real. I've had them, we've had them, that kind of panic gets in, and none of it's fun. How do you make it fun? Well, one of the ways to make it fun is to say, well, actually, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to learn how to make selling a service. I'm going to own, who I am, what I do. I'm going to get really clear on my benefits and values, and where I need to, I'm going to allow support in so that I can really share my gifts in the world. And that's what we want to talk to you about, our Sell with Success, Authenticity and Soul program, which is part of our summer school. We've got a couple of other exciting things lined up for summer school. So I want you to write this URL down, the heartcenteredbusinessacademy.com/summer school 2014. That's the heartcenteredbusinessacademy.com/summer school 2014. Now, all the information is there. We're going to quickly just run through the modules.
So the first one up is manifest your target market.
So in that, we're going to really look at your ideal target market. It's really pretty straightforward, but it's the most magical part of beginning to manifest and attract these people to you. Because even when they come to you, which they do to us often, and say, I want to work with you, I really know I want to work with you, and you think, well, that didn't feel like selling. The fact is, somewhere your energy has already sold to them, whether it's through marketing, a blog post, a webinar, a video like this or something. You have shown them the transformation and the benefit. And that's actually what New Paradigm Selling is about, where people make choices based on the fact that they can feel the invitation and the energy. And the second module is marketing and visibility for success. So if you're not marketing,
you're invisible. If you're not marketing, it's very difficult to sell.
And a lot of people don't market or feel that they want to be invisible because they don't know or own their own value. So this is something that we cover extensively in that and really talk about how you focus on benefits. It took me years, like I shared, to figure this out, but we're going to give you the shortcuts to actually getting really clear on your value and your benefits. We're going to be covering the money aspect in that as well.
And number 3 is selling is a service. We've mentioned it before, but it's so important. It's a change of mindset. It's really understanding that sales isn't something horrible. It isn't something frightening. It's simply delivering a fantastic service to yourself and to your customers.
And the modules, in fact, 3 and 4 are very related together, because this is where we're not going to give you our templates. We're not going to give you our process about selling, because it's about owning who you are. It's about you getting so confident that you will be creating your own template. You'll be creating your own magic questions. You'll be creating your own process that's unique to you and your soul and the gifts that you're offering. Because if we gave you our templates and said, this is what you do, this is how you ask, this is how you create a sales conversation, you're not using your own power, and it's where you trip up. With the best will in the world, trying to copy somebody else, it is just deflating your power. So we're going to give you the blueprint and the tools to create those processes. So modules 3 and 4 really go deep, so you will, at the end of those, have your magic questions, understand how to deal with people that are perhaps on the fence without making them feel like they're being cornered or forced, how to deal with people that say no, and how to celebrate people that are saying no, because it's all about leading people to a great decision. But you will know energetically, and you can see from this drawing, I'm drawing the energy here, when you know who you are and what you're doing, the energy, your energy changes what you radiate, so people will be flowing to you in and out. You're not going to be having these barren periods or panic periods of when's my next flight going to come. And I touched earlier on the bonus that we've got, where we're going to really go a little bit deeper into pricing and how you can create your high-end programs so that they're not just a file on your computer. I'm sure I did for a long time have my VIP document of this is what my VIP day was going to be, and it was filed away under a VIP folder and left there basically because I hadn't got that inner work powered up. I didn't have the foundation for it. So we're going to give you the tools to be building that foundation and strengthening it. And everything you get in that program is not only stuff that we use in our business and we share, with our one-to-one clients, but it's stuff that you will use even when you're transforming your business, changing it. And I've changed mine a couple of times, and I'm sure there's more to come, in the lives of us together and individually with where we're going, and in the same as yours, because one of the things that heart-centered conscious entrepreneurs is very, very creative. And once that courage button is pressed on you and you realise that you have the foundation, nothing will stop you. So check out the link at theheartcenteredbusinessacademy.com/summer school 2014. I can hear some people going, but it's summer holidays, and I can hear that already.
I think summer is a great time seasonally as well to really dig deep and to really start to learn and to start to recreate yourself, reimagine yourself. And on the summer school, these powerful tools are really going to raise the bar in your business.
Yeah, definitely. And don't fall into the trap of thinking because it's summer, it's time to kind of kick back, and then when you come into the autumn months and the winter months, the last 3 months of the year, you're kind of feeling like you need to squeeze what didn't happen in the rest of the year all into those 3 months. So it's a perfect opportunity. We meet every 2 weeks over Google Hangout. We be delivering content. It's all going to be recorded even if you are on holiday. And there's going to be lots and lots of Q&A and open time, because we want to coach you. If you're showing up, we want to be there for you to help you get this foundation in place. And just to say that we're walking our talk, we're going to be moving country the week after we kick off.
We are.
So we're not going to be immune to the fact that it's summer and there's change happening, but we're so committed to you as a heart-centered and conscious entrepreneur, having that foundation in business and not just having a kind of, the image I've got is like this idea fireworks going off everywhere, which is brilliant, but actually give it a foundation and learn to activate that inner sales and business expert that's hardwired within you. So have a look at the heart-centered businessacademy.com/summer school 2014. If you've got questions, email us, put a comment below, and let us know how you get on with writing out what your gifts are. And it's once you've written that out once, read that every single day, and maybe you might add to it or whatever. Read it for the next 21 days, like really deliberately and consciously read it, and let us know how you get on and if you've got any questions as well.
And we look forward to you joining us on the 23rd of July.